Hey everybody, well hope you're having a great week. Just wanted to share with you several different really important updates with you about what's happening here at Redeemer. This video is going to be a little bit longer because I've got several important things I want to share with you that everybody needs to know about at Redeemer. So just kind of bear with me as we go through the board here today, okay? So first of all, so this is the update for June 11th, 2020. First thing I want to tell you about is our new sermon series that's starting this coming Sunday, June 14th. Which is called Transformation, moving from religion to authentic faith. And as we go through this summer, we're going to be looking at several different Old Testament characters and following the history of the nation of Israel and seeing how in each one of these characters' lives, God moved them from a place of religion to authentic faith. And we're going to be asking ourselves some pretty challenging questions as we consider how God is moving us from that place as well, from a place of where we're just kind of practicing religion to a place of real authentic faith. Where we have a deep relationship with our Heavenly Father. So we're going to be talking about that all summer. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can participate in our Sunday morning worship. First of all, obviously in person. We started in-person worship last Sunday, so you can join us at 8:30 or 11 o'clock on Sunday morning for in-person worship. We also started live streaming last Sunday, so you can join us through our live stream through our website. Either at 8:30 or 11 o'clock and watch the live streaming there as well. Also, we're going to continue our Facebook Live messages on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. Those Facebook Live messages are getting a wide distribution to folks that are not just Redeemer members but are well beyond our membership. And so we recognize that those Facebook Live messages are really, really important. We need to continue to do that. So we'll be providing that Facebook Live message at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning also. Another really exciting thing I want to tell you about is we've started a new program this summer for high school students, a student leadership internship. And so we have a couple of high school students that are going through, this summer will go through an internship to learn a whole lot of different things about ministry and what life in ministry is really all about. The internships are actually being funded by a group called MALIM, or Mid-Atlantic Lutherans in Mission. They've provided some grant monies to us to fund these internships, so we're really, really excited about that. And we are going to have Kobe, Lotta, and Julie Bassett go through these internships. And again, they're going to get a lot of different exposure to a lot of different facets of life in a church and what ministry is really all about. So they actually started this week. And you're going to see Kobe and Julia in a lot of different places learning a lot of different things during this internship. So we thank God for that, and we are really excited about what they're going to be learning and what they're going to be bringing to us as well. Then third, our community engagement activities continue, obviously. We are continuing our food drive, serving the people in our community, and we've distributed almost 600 packets of food to people in our community, so we can continue to do that. But we're also doing a treat train. And what that treat train is really all about is we basically get a bunch of people in trucks to go out into the community and take treats to children and families into our community. They just drive through the streets and honk loud and be fun and all that kind of stuff and hand out treats to the children and families in our community. So that treat train is going to be going on Saturday, June 20th from 9:30 until 11 o'clock. So if you have any questions about either of those things, you can talk to Becky Wade, and she'll help you understand how to get more engaged in that and support those ministries as well. Then fourth, we also have a virtual VBS that we are planning for, which will be July 27th through the 30th. But it'll all be virtual, all be through videos and online, those kinds of things. So again, that's going to be a great event for us, a great ministry for us. A lot of churches in the area have canceled their VBSs for the summer. So we're confident that this could be the largest VBS that we ever do. So we're really, really, again, excited about that. The theme is going to be Rocky Railway. And for more information about that, again, you can jump on our website, and to register for it, it's real important that you jump on our website and register through the website so that you can get into the pool of people who are going to be a part of that VBS. So again, join us for that, register online. And then finally, well, not quite finally, but almost finally, the fifth thing on the list, I need to tell you something about what's going on with our Child Development Center. As you know, Our Child Development Center opened on June 1st with almost 50 children enrolled. But what you need to know is that about 3 weeks before that opened, Kathy Bakken and the CDC administrative staff got together and started to develop and put into place all kinds of new policies and practices and procedures to prepare us for that opening, to make sure that we are, again, having an abundance of caution to protect our teachers, to protect our staff, to protect our children and families when they come on campus here for our CDC. And as families are going back to work, we were hearing from people asking, when are we going to open up? When are we going to open up? So we recognized that to serve our community, we needed to open it up, but we need to, again, be very, very careful about when and how we open up. We were in constant conversations and contact with the Center for Disease Control. We were reading documents from them and policies and practices from them, as well as from the Virginia Department of Health and the Virginia Department for Social Services. So Kathy and the administrative team just put all kinds of things in place to get us ready for that opening. But as we started to get ready for that opening, we realized that one of the assumptions, one of the questions that we need to have in mind is what happens not when, not if somebody comes down with COVID-19 in the CDC, a staff member or a child. It's not so much an if question as it is a when question. Because until we get a vaccine that's in the marketplace and all that kind of stuff, we recognize that the likelihood is that somebody at some point in time is going to be diagnosed with COVID-19. And so we have to have protocols in place to respond to that in a healthy way. Well, I need to tell you that this last Sunday, June 7th, one of our teachers was diagnosed with COVID-19. She actually was not feeling well over the weekend, and so she went in to have an initial test that came back negative, and then she took a second test that came back positive. So when that happened, we instantly jumped in and started putting our protocols into place, including contacting the Virginia Department of Health and letting them know that we've had a positive test with one of our teachers. So one of the things that we did instantly is we closed down the CDC. We put the teacher and a couple of other staff members and the children that were in that classroom on a 14-day quarantine. And again, we had conversations with an officer at the Virginia Department of Health. And when we explained everything that we had been doing, all the precautions that we'd been taking, all the policies and procedures put into place, first of all, the officer at the Department of Health said, you guys have gone well above and beyond what we have been recommending, and so you should feel very good about that. You should also feel very good about how your staff has been responding to this moment. So there's a lot of confidence, a lot of encouragement that was there. And then as we walked through this process together, the Virginia Department of Health said, we want you to close for 3 days. We brought in our cleaning crew to do an extensive cleaning in the CDC with some high-powered things, disinfectants and all that kind of stuff. And then the Department of Health gave us the green light to open it again on June 10th. So we did that. We continue to stay in contact with the affected staff and children and their families. We continue to encourage them and pray for them and check on that health. And at this point, at the point of recording this video, I'm glad to tell you that there has been no spread in infection. Okay, but we continue to stay in contact with these folks. And I would just ask that you would keep them in your prayers, okay? So just want to tell you that. Again, we're really confident that we've got the right procedures and policies in place. And we're also assuming, again, that this is not going to be the last time that we see an infection. There will be more infection that we experience from time to time, either with a children or a staff member. And so, again, we're just going to continue to be diligent about monitoring this situation and responding appropriately. So I just need to tell you that so that you understand what's happening here at Redeemer, particularly with our CDC staff and families. Please keep them in your prayers, okay? This is a really, really tough time. In addition to just operating a significant business, the CDC staff, and particularly Kathy and her administrative staff, have had to deal a whole lot of additional work to just watch out for our staff and for our CDC children and families. So keep them in your prayers. I also want to share 2 final pieces of information with you. First of all, I want to tell you, for those of you who know Pastor Bob Heckman, I got word this morning that Pastor Bob Heckman, a retired pastor who served for several years here at Redeemer, moved to be closer to family a couple years ago. I got word this morning that Pastor Bob had a heart attack and a stroke this morning and that he's in ICU. So I would ask that you would just keep him in your prayers. But I would also like to share this word with you. Because as we've been having conversations with our ministry teams and our staff and our call teams, and we've been kind of taking stock of and taking the pulse of Redeemer's membership and of our staff and our CDC families and our community, it's become clear to me that there's still a lot of concern and anxiety around about what's going on. Some people are doing okay, but other people are really feeling the weight of the events of the last few days and weeks and months. And as they look forward to the future, there's still a lot of anxiety and uncertainty and questions, and there's a lot of kind of emotional uncertainty. So I wanted to share these words from you from the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, beginning with verse 18. God says these words, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." And I know that as we walk through this time together, it can feel like we're walking through the wasteland, like we're walking through the wilderness, that there's a lot of uncertainty. But in the middle of this, God speaks to each one of us and he says, listen, I'm doing a new thing. And we may not be able to sense it or feel it or understand it at this point in time. We may not be able to describe what it's going to look like. But God is doing a new thing. And he is in the driver's seat of our lives. And so we ask that God would continue to give us his peace and his direction, his comfort, his confidence, to know that he's in the driver's seat and that he's doing something new. He's doing something new in us and through us and for us. And it may look very different from the past, but don't worry about that. Put your hope and your confidence and your trust in the Lord. He is still the Lord of our lives. He is still the God of all gods. Jesus still sits on the throne. And he is creating something new. And all we are asking here at Redeemer is that he would help us to trust him as he makes that new thing. And as he leads us into that new place. So keep us all in your prayers. Keep the Redeemer family in your prayers. Keep this community in your prayers. So that as God helps us to walk into this new space together, that we can encourage each other and support each other and lift each other up and point each other to the cross of Jesus and say, see, he is doing a new thing. So thanks very much for your time. Again, thank you for hanging with me for this a little bit longer video. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Look forward to seeing everybody soon. Bye-bye.